Hey everyone, this is Miss Mara, and today I want to talk about foot fetishes. So, I went to the first Foot Night LA of 2018, and this is my first time returning since over 3 years ago. And I returned because I am finally in a good place with my domination side, that I feel comfortable going out and spreading that side of my business, as well as partaking in the foot fetish scene again. I was a foot model for about 2 years before I took a hiatus, and let me tell you, it has changed a lot. The founder, Steve Savage, has relocated it into a bigger venue, hosted over 60 models that night, and there was an award ceremony for the most charismatic, the best photographed foot, and Miss Foot Night, and so many more awards. And it was such an experience that I've never had before at one of these events. It was super supportive. It was really fun. All the ladies were doing their own thing. There was no competition. Everybody was just really chill and really happy. And the caliber of clients has gone up since the last time that I've been there. So I highly recommend going to one of these, even if you're just a tad curious, because I was able to convert a first-timer into a natural being his first session, and he sessioned with me 2 more times that night, which was awesome. A couple of things that I would like to talk about, though, are tips and tricks at a foot night. So if this is your first time going to one, take heed of these suggestions and just have them in the back of your mind if you decide to go. Or if you're sessioning with a mistress for the first time and are into feet or would like to try foot fetish, these are also for you. So I would like to start out with the fact that a lot of these men are very conversational and they like to get to know the model. As a model, I'm genuinely curious about where this client is coming from and what excites them about feet. And so I will introduce myself and start asking if it's their first time at Foot Night and what they like about feet and if they'd like to do a session. And judging on their reaction, if they're enthusiastic about it or if they look like they're waiting for someone, I'll gauge before I ask. I feel like a lot of these guys have been very transparent about if they're waiting for a specific model to see, but a lot of them have been open into sessioning with new girls, especially if they like your personality, which comes with the introduction, and they just need to be warmed up to start the conversation, because some of them aren't talkative, some of them are shy, and some of them are just fetishes. Some guys asked me what I do. I was wearing leather cuffs, a gold bodysuit, and a leather skirt with 6-inch PVC heels. And I told them I was like, I'm a pro dom. And a couple of them asked, what's a pro dom? And I laughed and I was just like, a professional dominatrix. And they're like, oh, I don't like getting hit. And I was like, I don't only hit people, I cater to their fetishes, which means that if you have a foot fetish, that overlaps. And you are entitled to a session that is just foot worship. Some of them were really intrigued by this because they're like, oh, I've asked a mistress before to do what they do to their clients when they ask for foot fetish sessions. And one lady, I guess, kicked him really hard in the face and stomped on him. And he was like, no, I'm not into that. And he was kind of shooken up for the rest of the session. And I was like, well, you kind of asked for it. I mean, if she's a professional dominant, that's kind of one of the extremes of foot fetish. However, the other side is kind of what my sessions are more like, where it's a sensual tease of my feet. It begins with like unwrapping the shoe. Sometimes if the foot fetishists really love smell, having them smell my used shoes or boots or whatever it was that I was wearing for the day. Some people will even request that I wear the same shoes for over 3 hours just so that they can smell that used smell. And it's so funny because my mom, when I was younger, I would have really stinky feet, especially after running cross country, especially when I was in high school, when your hormones are out of whack. And it was at the end of a 6-mile run, 2 hours in nature. She would drive me home and say, your feet stink. Like, are you washing them properly? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, I'm perfectly hygienic and I'm very OCD about it. I don't know what else I can do to prevent the smell. But lo and behold, 10 years later, I find myself catering to these guys who are totally into that smell. And so if you have tried or haven't tried all of the senses with foot fetishism, I thoroughly suggest it. One of the things you can do is lick the bottom of the girl's shoe, lick her feet, massage her feet, tickle her feet. Although you may want to ask permission about this one beforehand, because one guy bit my foot and it tickled so much I accidentally kicked him in the chin. And I was like, well, now you know I'm ticklish there, but he kept doing it, so I guess he liked it. Another thing that I would suggest is if you do massage a girl's feet, try to start out light and then get into the more hearty massaging, because every girl is different. Some people may like deep tissue because they've been walking in those heels for hours already. But some people are really sensitive and also will kick. I saw this girl next to me in a foot session, and this guy was trying to massage her feet, and he started out too hard, and she literally kicked him by accident again and was just like, oh, I'm so sorry, that's really hard. My reactions were too fast before I could say anything. So just be aware if you would like to massage a girl's feet, and if they would like to have their feet massaged, start out light and then you can go deeper, or ask, should I go deeper or should I stay the course of what I'm doing? Another thing that I would like to suggest is if it's also your first time at a foot night, I know you can get really passionate about feet. I'm totally cool with it. A lot of girls who have gone to this have experienced a lot of fetishes. I think as a first timer, kind of express that it's your first time, and the girl will help lead you into how to worship their feet. They can give out pointers. Don't just shove their foot in your mouth and start making out with it really hard with teeth. Start out slow and pretend it's you're kissing for the first time on a date or something. That's the best scenario that I can match for that. And that way everybody kind of knows what to expect and knows how to handle the situation. Always pay for the session beforehand. I've been coaching new people to kind of respect that rule, just because once you get engrossed and once the time is up, you kind of are in this headspace of bliss, and then you want to walk off and go to the bathroom or find a next girl. But at the same time, it's if you pay up front, you always have the option of extending, and also the girl won't feel well, hey, I didn't get my money yet, I don't want to forget it, so pay up front. Another thing is shower, smell nice, don't smell heavy, full of smoke, because there are some people who don't like that smell. There is a smoking patio out there, so please use that. And everybody was pretty respectful and, like I said, chill. So I really hope this atmosphere keeps up. It was really, really, really fun. My favorite session of the night was this young guy who donated to 5 of us DOMs, and we trampled him. We walked on him in a line and then circled back and kept walking on him. We would jump on him, like, he wanted us 2 at a time, then 3 at a time on his body, then 4, and then we got all 5 of us on there. We put one of our foot on his chest or his stomach, and we bounced up and down for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I tell you, this kid was so genuine about wanting all of this. Like, all of these older guys crammed into the doorway just to watch this happen, and it was amazing. Like, we had so much fun with him. And that all lasted in a span of 10 minutes. It was great. It was perfect. Footage can be seen here. And it's posted on my Twitter as well. So yeah, I highly recommend going to one of these. It's going to happen about once every other month on a Thursday night. It's in downtown LA. Check out footnight.com/la.html. It's linked below. I am planning on going to more of these because, as you can tell, I've been smiling this entire time, and it's a really fun experience. Even if it's not for you, if you're a foot fetishist, I feel like there's nothing to lose just by trying it. You do have to pay a ticket fee to enter, but there's a lot of beautiful women in there and a lot of beautiful feet. So feel free to peruse the model gallery, and I hope to see you there in March. Like, follow, comment, and subscribe on my links below, and I will catch you next time. Be safe and have fun.